Kareen Maloney. I know the truth. It's creamy crack, my private addiction, a 6-week fix. Straightening the roots with the cool press of sodium hydroxide. It's a relaxer, leaving me tense, my head on fire. This is an excerpt from a poem written by Sharon Harvey Rosenberg, which seeks to give an idea of the act of straightening or relaxing one's hair. That is a black woman's hair or men. I recall that in 2007, when I relocated to the United States, what I did, I came here with a head of dreadlocks. And within 6 months, I actually cut off my locks. I thought at that time that it was important to lose the locks if I wanted to become a professional and to be accepted at any job that I was going to go after at that time. I was unaware of the movement that was going on in the United States at the time, where black women have now become confident with their natural hair. It was a growth or a movement that they were redefining themselves and becoming secure within their black culture. In as early as the 1900s, where black women and men were using the means of lye or relaxers to straighten their hair, you'll see a change where we look at 1960s when there was a black movement. At that time, the afro was the style of choice. It was natural. And you'll see where a lot of persons like Jesse Jackson, Angela Davis, they were in that movement and they wore the afro hairstyle. When we move up to the 70s, it was the shaved head and the jerry curl. In the 1980s and 1990s, another rising cultural movement where you had court complaints were filed about discrimination in employment because of the natural hair movement that was going on at that time. And then you have the 2000, where I came on the scene unaware that natural hairs were now accepted black mainstream, but this was influenced by the pop culture at the time. So we had to look at what was going on since 1960 to see what was now going to happen now in the 2000. So yeah, this is a movement that started way beyond just the 2000. Secondly, there is a natural hair versus the chemically straightened hair. Some still do and some don't. We can look at one side of it where an example that I would look at would be Michelle Obama, where people ask the question, if she had natural hair, would her rise to popularity or fame as the first lady, would she have more challenges? And some say yes. Some say she had to comply with the European aesthetic appeal as to what would be accepted. According to the Encyclopedia of African American Culture, hair straightening cannot simply be equated with the adoption of the European aesthetic and a rejection of African cultural heritage. But then on the other side, we can look at how pop culture has influenced hair, the natural hair. We have artists like Erykah Badu, and you have India Arie, which in 2006, she released her album, and on it there was a single called I'm Not My Hair in 2006. We also have actresses like Viola Davis, and we also have Lupita Nyong'o, who is in fashion model and actress as well. They all sport the natural hairstyle, and they're part of a large group of people who are pushing towards the black woman redefining themselves. Finally, we can look at the money aspect of the industry, where an online website called Mintel.com looked into commercialism and what's growing and what's not. And they did a study where they're looking at, this was written by Tanya Roberts, and she looked at black consumers are beginning to embrace their natural self. She said the decline in the hair product or straightening hair products in the 1990s started then, and there was a move towards natural. It negatively affected the sales of relaxers, and it dropped by 18%, and would probably go to 45% by 2019. And on the other side, black hair care market overall by 2015 would be a $2.7 billion industry. But is it about the money or about the movement? A change toward natural hair took decades to increase in speed and significance. And in the 2000s, mainstream society became accepting of black women and who primarily promote it and the culture it represents. But a final note I want to think about is that, is it a fad or is it just about the money? The natural hair movement, just like in the 60s where it was about black empowerment and black is beautiful, in the 2000s it's more about Black Lives Matters, and it's an undercurrent for that. So it's a culture redefining itself through their natural hair and a face with an ethnic movement.